Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are navigating the crazy world of authorship. Whether you're just starting out or already established, we want to help you navigate the publishing world with confidence. My name is Larissa Sohan, and this channel is brought to you by Next Page Publishing. With the help of our industry partners, we bring you the insights on the most challenging yet most rewarding parts of being an authorpreneur, along with the actionable tips to help you move your brand and your business forward. Don't forget to download your free copy of our book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, by visiting nextpagepublishing.net/author-your-way. Let's meet our next guest. Welcome back to another episode of I Wrote That, and it's always really, really special to me when we get to bring on not only an awesome coach and an author, but an author who has been through our program and is now a graduate, and her book is going to be out at the end of January, and we are in the throes of the final bouts of publication. I want to welcome Casie Kindl. She is an author, yay! Owner and founder of Kindl Coaching and the Age of Beauty movement, empowering women to feel truly beautiful no matter their age. After 20 years in the medical device industry in sales and leadership roles, she was called to do this mission, not only through her own struggle, but also witnessing women she loves struggle with the idea of getting older. And when you and I met, Casie, back in, oh my gosh, like a year and a bit ago, this was such a wonderful topic then, and I think it's only gotten more so in the year that we've worked together. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here, Larissa.
It's such an amazing time to be at this spot. I mean, we're almost at the 1 month countdown of your book launching. So maybe just talk about all of that feeling.
Yeah, it's exciting to finally be here. I, in many ways, didn't anticipate the multiple rounds of editing that we'd go through and just the process of what it takes to bring an idea like this to life. But now that we're right around the corner for me being able to order copies to have in hand, it feels just exciting and like a huge accomplishment. And when I look back on this last year, it's pretty surprising to me that it went from just an idea in my mind and a conversation with you to a tangible book that hopefully will impact a lot of women.
Mm-hmm. And not just a book, right? You're doing a companion workbook too. And then, like you said, the Age of Beauty movement. Casie, you were one of the people that you didn't take this project laying down in any way, shape, or form, because as you were writing it, you started a book club too. Like that is initiative. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the book club has been awesome. Not only was it a way for me to get the message out to a small group of women, but also get their active feedback in like the exercises that resonate with them, the struggles they're having. And
Now
it
let's
just
get back
allowed
to our
me to
guest
make
expert.
the book and then the workbook exercises that much more relevant to what women are currently struggling with, if you will, as it relates to aging and how they feel about themselves through that process.
Yeah, and I think we always try to teach our authors that you don't wait to market your book when your book is, 6 weeks from publication. You start the day you have the idea. You start thinking about it. You start talking to your audience, and you took that and ran with it. And it was actually a shift because if I remember correctly, when we first started talking, you were considering starting your own podcast. And yeah, the book club kind of came in and put in place of the podcast. So where are you on that journey? Are you going to continue with the podcast idea, or are you going to keep going with the book club?
To be determined. I do believe that the value these women are getting in the book club of having a regular group of women that they can support, uplift one another, confide in, has been just a beautiful thing to witness the unfolding of that. And what I've come to realize is that, the book is kind of the first level of women who are committed to understanding how to better love themselves through inevitable change in their life and in their bodies. But the workbook takes it a significant step further for them just by taking time to reflect on what they've learned in the book, how it's actually showing up for them in their own lives. And then a third layer to that, that seems to have been immensely supportive, is to have that community and the conversation and recognize you're not going at it alone. And there's an entire community of women all experiencing this in their own ways, but similar struggles, similar beauty through the growth and change that comes with it. And so I do see value and power in having some form of community to support women who are enjoying the book, they're getting a lot out of it, and they want to do it either with, like, go through the process, either with other women they're friends with or in a community that I create for them.
Yeah, I think the topic that you have, Age of Beauty, it's in itself is a lonely conversation, right? Because we always feel like we are isolated, that we're the only ones who feel this way, and we're constantly comparing to others, and that just breeds isolation. So it does make a lot of sense that community is going to be a big part of your movement. And I think, I mean, talk about rewarding. I've only ever gone to a couple of book clubs with my own books, and just talking with readers and watching them go through your content and spark joy and hope and progress and action is, as an author, and that's huge. It's so rewarding.
You're right. It's been immensely rewarding. I leave those sessions just feeling so energized by the conversation that everyone or many women are wanting to have. They just don't naturally start it when they're out with their friends or talking to their moms or what have you.
hmm And so that comes to the next question of what did inspire you to write a book about this? And the book is not just, how to love yourself, it's also your journey with loving yourself and how you came to be. So what was I mean, that's a big step to take. So what led you to this path?
I would say it was a variety of things. I mean, first of all, I just wanted to get into coaching to leave my corporate career behind. And I knew I wanted to work with to uplift and support women. I was very interested in just working with women primarily. And so maybe 6 months into my work, I was naturally attracting more women to the group coaching program I had at the time. And I just remember at a community workspace one day, just having this kind of download of ideas. And it didn't have a name at the time. Like, it didn't have Age of Beauty tied to it, but it was just this notion of the struggle that I've had personally, that I've heard other women talk about in my life that I care about, of bringing together a group of experts, a group of women to have conversation around it. So I started probably a year and a half ago, another Age of Beauty community. The name came later. And it was just all around having conversations and sometimes fun, kind of superficial things like fashion trends for fall or ways to support your skin as you're aging and nourishing from the inside out. But then other times we had like holistic health practitioners to come in and talk about perimenopause and those sorts of changes. And what I found pleasantly was that there were so many women showing up to have a conversation. I think the very first time we met, we had 13 women there, and it just evolved from a community meeting that happened once a month into something that I wanted to have a bigger impact with for women who aren't necessarily local or want to read about these ideas on their own and then start having the conversations outside of that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make this a whole lot less sexy. I'm gonna talk about funnels because that is what you're creating, right? Is you started
Yeah.
with some beta testing, some group programming and seeing how things were working out and understanding how they wanted to communicate and how they wanted to connect. And now you've built this book and you've built a workbook and you've built a book club that leads to probably one of your coaching programs. I mean, that is okay, I think it's sexy. That's a sexy funnel, right? That's a nice line as an entrepreneur to clearly have very self-sustaining steps in your marketing plan. Um, this is a little bit of a curveball question, but what else do you see coming down the pipeline? Because I've seen you download a lot over the past year, and I think that is truly how you work. Has anything new come to you of how you're going to use this book going forward?
But probably the biggest realization has been just these serendipitous situations where women have come up to me and talked about wanting to be in touch as soon as the book's launched and get a group of women together to talk about this. Just yesterday, as I was putting some finishing touches on the cover, I had a couple copies of just the cover of the book and workbook sitting in front of me. And a woman I'd met a few months previously sat down next to me and right away was asking about the book and said that she's just turning 60 and she's starting to look at phasing out her business and she's struggling, with the change that's inevitable for all of us. And yet she realizes that she wants to take it a step further. And so she said that she wanted to get a group of women together to go through the book and workbook. And I then offered to her that because she's local, that I would be willing to come in for, meet the author, ask me anything near the end of the book club. And so to answer your question, I know this is kind of a roundabout way to get there, but I see the value in taking it to the next level and having a community of women that is a safe place to have these conversations with and a fun, uplifting place for women. And so I don't know exactly what form that's going to take just yet, but I can envision separate circles, if you will, of maybe 10 to 20 women tops, where they get to work through this together and then have access to supportive resources, including the book and workbook through that.
Are you hoping 2025 will be the year you write your brand-centered book? Or maybe you have a business book that isn't doing what you want? No matter where you are on your authorpreneur journey, we have the secret to your success, and we're going to give it to you for free. In our new book, Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, we share with you the formula and tools to guarantee your business book is a success. Within the pages of Author Your Way to Your Next 100K, you will learn from the expertise of a nonfiction publisher and the real-life examples of authors who have seen incredible success using our proven strategies. We're also going to give you access to our workbook, where you can tangibly assess where in your business a book can make the biggest impact for you. This book and the companion workbook are specifically built to help entrepreneurs like you write and sell a book that converts readers into clients with the power of artful invitation and deliberate storytelling. At Next Page Publishing, we believe in helping you achieve massive returns on your investments. Your time, energy, skill, and experiences are valuable, and you deserve to create a tool that matches your worth. This book is our gift to you. Visit nextpagepublishing.net/authoryourway to access your free copy today. I think that's one of the best explanations of what, joint venture, affiliate, partnership, marketing is because you only have to meet one person. And
Yeah.
that one person is going to maybe sell, 15 copies of your book, and then they're going to bring you in as the guest expert. That's smart marketing. I like that. You have a sexy funnel and now you have smart marketing going on. And I mean, when I met you, I knew you were going to do all this. It's who you are. It's going to happen for you. But to actually hear a real author being approached by someone saying, I believe, like not a virtual, like a virtual stranger, someone you've only met briefly saying, I believe in you, I believe in your message, and I want to support you and I want to work with you. That's how books go to the next level, right? That's how it becomes easy for authors. So really well done on that.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to ask you, because we spend in the first couple weeks of our program, all our authors go through that ideal reader, and we'll dust off our old hat on that. What was that journey like for you I mean, you already had some clarity on who your ideal woman was, but going through that process of who is supposed to read this book and what is the book supposed to do for them? Can you just talk about that journey a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, just at a high level, Larissa, the process that you have laid out for me, and I imagine for every author who goes through your program, it was critical for me to be able to write a book in this amount of time. Like I've said to many friends, there's no way in hell I would have been able to do this and like organize my thoughts and know who my audience is and actually speak to them. So to answer your question about some of those earliest exercises, it was important to me because, like all things, we have these ideas in our mind, but how do we make it clear and succinct enough and consistent in our writing throughout to have it land? Because we can't speak to everybody all the time. Nobody can. And yet, it's easy to try to do that by human nature if we don't have clarity. And so the clarity was critical. And then I also just appreciated how Like I'd write a chapter, you would edit it, we would meet because it kept me true to those things that I said were part of my ideal reader early on.
Mhm.
And then you also like question things in a good way when they didn't match up. Like I was describing somebody that then the salary, I remember you're like, this doesn't add up to the person you're describing. So like help me bridge the gap or like what am I missing? And those are important levels of just accountability to speaking to a real, in my case, woman, a real person who's going to be reading the book.
And I think it helps in that marketing too, right? Of understanding of like, where are you casually carrying your book and setting it down at the Starbucks table so the lady next to you can see it, or whatever it is. Like, where is your audience hanging out? Because it's the writing. Yeah, it's so important to know who you're writing to, so that you can share the right stories and you can connect on the right things and give them the right, actions or ask the right questions. But in the marketing side of things too, I mean, a book club does not land with everyone. It's not every group of people wants a book club, but yours does.
Yeah.
And I think just it shows the fact that you went down that road so early on in this process shows how well you knew your woman. You knew
Yeah.
your person, and that is so, so impressive. Okay, I understand absolutely how hard it can be to admit that we need change as a person, right? It's hard when you are facing something as inevitable as aging to even admit that you want help or you need help. Part of you just feels like, oh, I should just be able to deal with this on my own. But that your book and your communities are really about kind of shedding that stigma that we have to do it alone. So talk a little bit about your coaching process and what it is that you actually help women work through, because I know your book goes well beyond surface and it goes into the deeper parts of us. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So, first of all, the book is a little bit of a Trojan horse in the sense that, to your point, it is hard to admit that we want to change, but it's pretty easy to admit that we want to feel good. We want to feel beautiful. And we're always, as women, seeking things, whether it's a new product or a new supplement to help us feel our best. And so I intentionally went in with that very common thing that we're all striving to have more of in our lives, with the understanding that both the book and workbook are more aligned to the deeper work that, in my opinion, needs to happen in order to truly, deeply feel that as a woman. Because there's a couple things that we all face that make it challenging when we have change. The first is that there's a lot of sort of expectation of how we're supposed to be in the world. And I think as women, we're very good at recognizing that, understanding that, putting other needs ahead of ours, and giving 110% to meet all those external expectations. But in doing so, we can lose sight of who we are and what it is that we truly want. And so the work I do is helping women to reacquaint themselves with the truth of what it is that they want and to recognize that it's not this like scary step and that their whole life has to shift in order to do that, but that when they can look at themselves more lovingly, more in a more supportive, just genuine way, that they're the ones who benefit in the long run. And so does everyone around them. So it's not a move toward like selfishness at all. It's a move toward more deeply understanding what you most want and value as a woman. And also learning to sort of shift perspective from external stuff because our bodies will change, our skin will sag, like things about us are going to change over time. But what's that deeper essence of who we are that we can appreciate and that will be there with us ongoing? And how do we nurture that side of ourselves more is really a way to encompass some of the work that I do with clients.
And so much of that comes through in the book in such a in the Trojan horse way. I like that explanation of it because on the surface, it can look like just a book on how to make you feel pretty. But it's a book on how to make how to help you love yourself.
Yeah.
And by loving yourself, you radiate this energy. And you actually have a story in your book about, do you mind if I talk about, can I spoiler your book a
Not at
little?
all.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There's a story in your book where I think you went out on a lake with some of your family friends, and one of the husbands, who's kind of a quieter guy, a little more rough and tumble, burly dude, said basically, like, you're glowing, like you've got an energy about you, and in your book, and you and we know, and I know from reading your book, that that energy is within. And it
Yes.
had nothing to do with your windswept hair from the boat, or, the sunscreen face that we got going on, or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was how you felt.
Mhm.
And your book is just that beautiful explanation of how we can start to feel that way, so that on the outside, yeah, the things do change, but that's not the work that's leading to it. And I think that's so, so beautiful. Um, I know you do have a freebie for our listeners. You have an offer for them, because if we haven't sold your book enough, they might need a freebie. But what is your offer for our listeners that you're giving them?
So, my offer is just a simple insight to one of the more powerful exercises in the workbook. And it's around becoming more present in your life as a woman and stepping into your power as a woman. And so, I believe you'll put the link in the show notes. But it so easy to get swept up in our minds with regretting decisions we made, beating ourselves up for something that happened in the past, maybe replaying how we wish we would have shown up differently, or stressing or feeling anxious about something in our future. And the truth is that the past and future will never be, they only exist in our minds. And by spending our mental energy there, we're taking away from our ability to be present. And when we are able to be more present, not only do we better enjoy like what's right in front of us and all the beauty of life, but we also become more able to just enjoy the whole ride of life. Like life just becomes sweeter and better, and it feels like time goes slower, and it becomes a richer life. And so the exercise is simple, but it is available for download, and it allows women to understand what their mental patterns are with their most common thought processes, and then identify ways to support themselves in moving through that.
Excellent. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about your book again, because that's what I love about it. You have a section in your book called "Be a Kid,"
Yeah.
or "Act Like a Kid," something like that. And I have a 7-year-old daughter, and yeah, if we all just lived like our 7-year-old versions of ourselves, just 100% in the moment, there is nothing else but what's here and what's in front of us and what brings us joy and what doesn't, and avoiding the things that don't. That's very, very good advice for all of us. So I would highly recommend you check out Casey's free download, the exercise that she's got going on. You can head to kindlecoaching.com and find more information about her book clubs and all her resources and all of those amazing things. Okay, Casie, I have one last question for you. What advice do you have for aspiring authors?
That you've got great ideas. If whatever your idea is, it's a good one. It wouldn't have come to you if it wasn't. And there's so much learning and growth that comes through getting your thoughts onto the page and into a book. And even though it feels, and you might have self-doubt about like, is anyone actually going to care or read this? The truth is people are watching, they're observing, and there's always going to be a subset of people who need and want to hear your message. And so it's been an awesome journey for me, and I recommend it to anyone who's got the idea or the desire to write a book.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for showing s- s- so much of yourself in this book, and putting so much of your love and your passion and your soul into something that really is going to help a lot of women, because there's no way it can't. You have the magnetism, you have the energy, the drive, and the right motivations to make this something really, really big. The Age of Beauty movement is real, and it's coming, and I'm so excited to have been part of your journey.
Thank you. It's been an honor to have you along for it. Thank you so much, Larissa.
Thanks for tuning in to I Wrote That. Don't forget to download your free copy of Author Your Way to kickstart your journey as an authorpreneur. You'll find the link in today's show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love for you to leave us a review. It helps more listeners like you discover the show. Until next time, happy writing.